Hello everybody, I hope that you can hear me. I am going to start my stream right now. We are going to look today at a module called a Melody Sequencer, which was created by Goofy. Kudos to him, it's a very good module. Here is the manual for this module. The idea is that you have this melody consisting of 8 parts. Each part has 8 notes, and you have to arrange them in the right order when you play the module. So if I start this module now, you will see that if I press the green button here, it plays a melody, and then you have to figure out which part of that melody that was. So this one starts with alpha sharp and ends with alpha, so it was this one, part 6. And then I would have to move that to slot number 6 to make it correct. Right, so this is how the module works right now. And then you have to keep doing that and fill in the missing parts. We're going to add rule seed support to this, so that with different rule seeds you get different melodies. So I've got the source code. No, I don't actually have the source code up. Let's actually open the source code for this module. Melody Sequencer script. So here's Visual Studio. And as you can see here, the parts of the melodies are written as arrays. Each part is an array of integers, and these integers presumably are numbered from 0 to 23, because there are 24 keys in total. And the 0 is of course Charlie 4, which is the leftmost key, and the last one would be Bravo 5. So what I want to do is I want to make it generate melodies at random, so I don't have to write hundreds of melodies myself. But I want, if you just put together random notes, then it will sound nonsense. So I'm going to do that first, so you can see how random and bad the melody will sound, and then we'll think about ways of making it better. All right? So I'm going to rename this and call it seed 1 parts. And this array contains the parts that you already have on the manual, so they may be in the wrong order, and they will have 4 of them missing. So I'm going to need an actual parts array, which I will populate with the correct parts for the current seed. So first of all, let's begin by adding the rule seedable component, km rule seedable, there we go. Alright, and I need a field for this, public km rule seedable. I'm actually going to put that up here with the audio and the bomb thing, and remove that line. Okay, and now I can say I will get the random number generator from the rule seedable first, get RNG, and then if the seed for that is equal to 1, then the parts are just going to be the seed 1 parts, right? Else, now generate a new melody at random. Okay, so at first I'm just going to generate a completely random melody, and you will hopefully see that it will sound completely nonsense. So I need 8 parts, so parts is going to be a new 8-part double array, 2-dimensional array. And then for each of those 8 parts, I'm going to say that part is going to be a new array containing 8 integers. And then for each of those integers, that particular note is just going to be some random value from 0 to, I'm going to put 24 because there are 24 keys, but because this is exclusive, there. Okay, that's where it says exclusive upper bound, so that number is exclusive. That means it will generate a number between 0 and 23. Okay? So, with that, we now have the parts array in place. The rest of the code already uses the parts variable. Let's take a look at this. Okay, maybe not in the start method. Oh, actually it's because I renamed it, isn't it? So I need to, okay, I made a mistake. I should not have used the rename feature on this. So I'm going to rename this to something else, rename this back to parts, and then change the name just here without using the rename feature, and then change this to parts and seed 1 parts. Alright, whoops, parts, I thought I said parts, parts, and parts. And now if I look for this, there you go. See, the rest of the code now uses that to decide which 4 of them to include, and it'll put them in a wrong location, and it'll tell you what the shuffled order is. I noticed that it still says harmony sequencer here. I'm going to change that because that's not the name of the module. And there you go. That's an easy mistake to make. Alright, so now let's take a look at the module. Let's run this. Alright, zoom in. Now if I play this, I get a null reference exception because I didn't actually associate the rule seedable with the field. You see, this value here is none. I need to put the module in there. There you go. Apply that. Alright, so now if I play this, you will have noticed that that is the same melody that we had before. That's because we didn't actually change the rule seed. So this is actually still going from rule seed 1. So it uses the default melody. Now I'm just going to switch this to rule seed number 2. You will hopefully notice that the melody is completely all over the place. It's completely chaotic and doesn't sound very melodic at all. See, that actually sounds pretty horrible. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to generate a melody which sounds at least reasonable. Okay, it's not going to, it's not going to be the next Stravinsky, but at the very least, it's not. Okay, so we're going to lay a few ground rules here. So the first, serialism. No, I'm not going to use serialism. Hello, Royal Flush. So the first ground rule is that every part is not going to stretch further than 1 octave, and is going to be in a specific key. So for example, I might decide, okay, part 1 is going to be, let's say, an F major or something, and I'm going to use only the keys that belong to F major, which would be F, G, A sharp, or B flat, C, D, E, F. Alright, that would be the F major scale. So let's do that. So for this part, decide on a key for the melody to be in. Alright, so the key is going to be, let's see, if I do this from 0 to 24, then, that'll be any key on the keyboard, but then, if it chooses 23, that'll be the highest key on the keyboard, and we can't go any higher than that. So I'm going to just choose 0 to 12, so we have any key from the first octave, and we can stretch into the second octave from there. Alright, so now the notes that we're allowed to use, well, we've got relative to C major, the next one would be D, which is 2 semitones up, and then E, and then F, and then G, A, B. Alright, so these are the notes that belong to the major scale. And now I'm going to take each of these integers and add the key to it. Except I can't use the variable I because I've already used that here. So I'm just going to call this part index. There you go. Alright. And then here, I'm going to call that note. Okay. So now if instead of any random note, I'm going to choose a random note out of this notes array. So I'm going to go rnd.next 0 notes length. Notes, oh yeah, I need to turn that into an array, and then I can use the length here. Piano sonata is fiddling. Yes. Okay. So now if I run this, hopefully this will sound a little nicer. Okay, it's still just as chaotic, but at least it's confined to an octave, and it sounds slightly more melodic because it's within a major key. I don't know what key that is, but I don't know, it sounds kind of okay. Anyway, so the next thing I want to do is, because the melody consists of 8 notes, I mean the part consists of 8 notes, and I think it would sound nicest if every odd numbered note, so the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh, belongs to the major chord, which in the case of C would be C, E, and G, Charlie, Echo, Golf. Okay, so let's do that. So major notes are Charlie, Echo, and Golf. Let's do that. Okay, and now we're going to say that if we are in a even numbered note, then we're going to do a random note like this. Otherwise, we're going to do a random major note. So we'd have next 0 major notes dot length. Okay, hopefully this will sound even nicer. Let's see. Aha! Okay, it is a little annoying that it plays the same note twice in sequence. Right, but at least it's not 3 in sequence, which could happen at the moment. So maybe we should make sure that we don't get 3 of the same note in a row. Okay? So let's say, let's keep choosing a different note until or while. Let's see. If this is one of the first 2 notes, then we don't care. So while we are at least on the second note and the relevant note, 2 notes before that, is equal to the one that we just assigned and the one before it, right? So if this is the case, then keep finding a different note. So this way we never get 3 notes in a row. Now that won't actually change the melody because we didn't have 3 in a row. But it might actually still change it because the random number generator is now out of kilter. Ah, that sounds nice. That is a really good melody. Alright, let's see what other parts we've generated. I wonder what key this is in. It looks like it should be D major. But then why does it start with a C sharp? That's, yeah, it is D major. Finish it on 1, 3, or 5. Uh-huh. Well, you say finish it, but, yeah, Royal Flush, I do acknowledge you. I know that C sharp is in D major. Come on, that's not the issue. No, Royal Flush, what you're missing is that these parts consist of 8 notes, which means that the first note of the next bar is missing. Alright, so when a melody ends on 1, 3, and 5, that would usually be the 9th note in this scheme, if you see what I mean. So I think it is actually the odd numbered notes that we want. That we want to be 1, 3, or 5. Does that make sense? Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is that each part, I mean, hang on, let me see if I can. Let me play this again. Okay, now. Oh wow, that sounds rubbish. Alright, so let me think about what is actually wrong with this melody. I think this looks like it's in B major. Yeah, actually I don't know, there's not really much wrong with it. But anyway, there's temperature, time, oven, and light. Okay, there was one other thing that I wanted to do, because right now, for the even notes, it will choose only, you know, the first, third, and fifth. Sorry, for the odd numbered notes. But for the even numbered ones, this is why it's wrong. The even, of course, it starts numbering them at 0, so this should actually be the major ones. And okay, that makes more sense. All right, let me try that. And yes, it was B major. Okay, let's try this now. Alright, it's still B major. Okay, so one issue here is that we have a large jump from the 1st to the 7th. So I want to avoid that. I want each jump... Yeah, exactly, 7th interval is not fun. So I want each jump to be at most a fifth of an interval. I mean a fifth interval, an interval of fifth, at most. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Instead of this do while loop, which is a bad idea anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to construct a list of eligible notes, okay? And these may be the major notes and maybe the minor notes, right? But then, come on Visual Studio, right? So this is either the major notes or the minor notes. And this is now an int array. Now I want to turn that into a list so that I can remove things from it. And then I want to remove all. So first of all, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so if this isn't the first note, so for the first note we can choose either 0, 4, or 7, which is the first, third, or fifth. For any subsequent note, we want to remove all the notes that are too far away. Okay, now 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 semitones is the most that we will tolerate. So we're going to remove every note where the difference between it and the previous note, which would be part ix note -1, is greater than or equal to 7. So we probably want the absolute value of that. So whenever that is greater than or equal to 7, we want to remove that. And this should be note. Alright, and then of course the actual note here is going to be one of the eligible notes, which we choose at random from its set. There we go. Now let's see how that sounds. Let's see. Despite having 4 of the same note in a row, that actually sounds fairly nice. But I didn't want more than 3 notes in a row, so I'm gonna have to remove that. Yeah, yeah, it sounds nice, but I'm still gonna prevent that, because in general it won't sound nice, but in this case, this is an exceptional case. So, if note is greater than 1 and the previous note and the note before that are the same, then I want to remove that, that specific note. Alright, if they are the same. So now it can no longer choose the same note. If you've already had the same note twice in a row, it will not choose that same note again. Let's see. Hey, that sounds really nice. And it's also still in B major. In case you're wondering why it seems to stick to B major, it's because we're on the same roll seed, right? So the beginning of the random number generator is always the same. Alright? Okay, so that sounds pretty good. Let's try another part. Hey! Okay, so both of these in isolation sound quite nice. Right, so each of these in isolation sound quite nice, but one after the other, remove double notes entirely, you think? I don't know, I think it's kind of okay. Let me think. This melody I think is pretty good. But in this one I can see your point. Let's remove the double notes entirely. Alright, so if there's a first note. Oh, I see. Right. So we'll remove that, and we'll also remove that. So we'll now remove everything that is more than, or at least 7 semitones away. Actually, wait, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 should still be fine. So actually, I'm going to remove everything that's greater than 7. So going from Charlie to golf should still be okay. And then remove the previous notes. And now we're not gonna have any repeated notes at all. Come on, play. There you go. All right. See, now you get a different kind of repetition. You get, because now we've constrained the set of notes that we can play so much that it'll keep alternating between notes. I actually think that sounds fairly nice. Alright. Okay, so the others are empty. Let's take a look at what you have to say. It might make it more consistently pretty. We want to avoid the 7th interval. Royal Flush, no, we do want to avoid the 7th interval, but the 7th interval is a distance of 11 semitones. What I'm avoiding is more than 7 semitones. 7 semitones is the 5th interval. Okay? Right. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is, because right now it will generate 8 parts which are all independent of each other. So you could have one part in B major and the next one in C major, and that would sound kind of funky and weird. We want to avoid that. So now I'm going to make it so that the key can only change in specific ways. So the first key is going to be at random, completely random. But then from there, we can only change the key in specific ways. So for example, from C major, we can only go to F major, G major, and maybe D major. But for now, I'll do only F and G and then see what that sounds like. Okay, so that means that we decide on the key of the first part, right? And then the rest of the parts are in specific keys relative to the first one, relative to each previous one, let's put it that way. So we now have a list of integers. Whoops, list of integers. Thank you. And we actually start out with the key, and then we go from 1 to 8 and say that keys I is equal to, all right, so let's see. We want to enable going from C to F or G. So we can go up 5 or 7 semitones. Okay, let's see, we can go up 5 or 7, and we can go down 5 or 7. That's -5, -7. Alright, so var eligible jumps is that where, now we need to make sure that our new key, right, this should be part index. We need to make sure that our new key is not going to jump off the keyboard, right? So we need to make sure that this is still greater or equal to 0 and less than 12, so it's still within the first octave. Alright? And then we make a list out of that, and then we say this is a eligible jump. Yeah, so this is, okay, keys part x -1 plus eligible jumps random next eligible number count. There you go. Okay, so now we actually want, so each eligible jump, so eligible keys, let's call it eligible keys, all right? So we actually want to add this here. So plus jump, and then make sure that the key is in that range to list, and then eligible keys that count. That should work. Let's see what I have to say. Yeah, raw flush is not really a big issue if it sometimes sounds odd. Just as long as, it's better than complete random. We're not really trying to, create a super, Kraken algorithm here. Keep the circular fifth going in one direction, so up or fourth and down or fifth, or vice versa, but not both. You may end up going from C to F to B flat and E flat. Yes, that is a bit random, but I think it sounds okay. Yeah, Goofy, that's yeah, Goofy, I suppose we could do that, but I think that would only serve to restrict the possible melodies that we can generate. So for now, I'm gonna, I mean, we can revisit that idea later if we find that this sounds too bad. But for now, let's take a look at this. Okay, there is a compiler error. Ah, I see. I reused the variable key here. I see. So I'm just gonna inline that variable because I only use it here. Okay, the first part. The rest of the parts are specific relative to each previous one. There you go. All right. All right. Let's take a look at this. All compiler errors. Ooh, we have a compiler error still. Let's take a look. The name key. Oh. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Of course, we now want keys of a part index. Right. Of course. This is what we need, and that should fix it all. There we go. Build succeeded. Argument out of range. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at this. There you go. This is what we need. We need to add a new key. Let's see if any of you noticed that. Yeah, I know. Down 5 semitones is the same as up 7. So, yeah. Alright. So here we go. Bit weird. Alright. Ooh. There's quite a bit of a jump there. So it's going from F to C, so that's still within the range that I said is allowed. So maybe I should actually disallow that. Yeah, so I'll change that 7, where was it? This here, I'll change that back to this, so that this particular jump is not allowed. Let's see what that sounds like. Ooh. That actually sounds really cool. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, so going down 5, so from a C, from a Charlie, going down 5 would take you to the G below it, and going up 7 would take you to the G above it. So either way, you end up in G major. Do you see that? Okay. So far, so good. So now we've created a melody. Now I want to hear what the entire melody sounds like, all 8 parts. So I'm going to put a little sort of cheat in this module, which I'm hopefully going to remove later. And I'm going to do that by using Twitch Play support, which doesn't currently exist. But I'm just going to create a Twitch Plays function that will only accept one command, which will play the whole melody. So process Twitch command string command. If command equals play, then we're going to start a coroutine, and we have a coroutine that plays the entire melody. Let's see. Okay, so that only plays the current part. So let's see where we have handle pass, because I know that it plays the entire melody. Okay. I see. So pass actually plays the entire melody. So how about I'm gonna copy this and say play all, and remove these. That can stay, I guess. All of that can stay, and then not have that. Alright, and then this pass thing, where is pass called? It starts a coroutine here. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to give it a parameter, or a solve module, true, add this parameter, and then get rid of this again because the other method has all of the code. So I'm gonna put that here. Oops, I'm gonna put that here. And now I'm gonna say if solve module, then we do this, and then here, if solve module, then this. There we go. Okay, that should work. My code! Don't worry, I will undo that later, because this is only for playing Twitch Plays right now. So, yield break. There you go. Alright, so now, ooh, aha, Twitch Plays is disabled, that's why. Let's go to the test harness and activate Twitch Plays, click, run that. Okay, and now I can hopefully go one play. That was only the first part. That's because this one doesn't have play all. There you go. And solve module should default to false. There you go. Right, let's try this now. Play. Okay, I forgot about the fact that yeah, play all plays it from the parts that you've put in rather than the actual melody generated. But when you solve the module, those should both be the same. So I'm just gonna change this to parts, right? And let's see where this is used. It's used in quite a few places. Let's just change this, and that should play the correct melody. All right, any other places? Oh, come on, parts. What was the variable called? Module parts. Okay, it's not used again. All right. Now we can hear the melody that is actually generated, the melody that should be the solution. Let's see. Play. I think that sounds pretty good. What do you guys think? That was definitely different. Yep. I mean, if I run this again now, it will play the same melody now because it uses the same random number generator to generate this melody. Actually, I'm suddenly not convinced if this is in fact the same. Did that actually play the same melody? I don't think it did. Okay, so let me try this. I'm going to output the entire, right? Okay, so where it says shuffled part here, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this and generate a new melody at random. So for each part, I'm going to output some stuff here. Okay, solution part that. Alright, so solution part I plus 1. We want string.join, and then we want parts part ix, and we don't want that in a loop. Dot select. So for that we want the note names note dot to array. Okay, that's oops. I deleted some. No. Oh, alright, there you go. This is weird. This is definitely weird. Why is... Oh. Alright, so let me think. Okay, so first of all, this one should be part IX. It's clear. But then apparently I messed up with the string dot. Ah, there is a close parenthesis too many. There you go. Alright, now it fits. Okay. So now the debugging will output the entire solution. Alright, here we go. This is the intended solution. And now I'm going to check if it actually plays this solution. So it should start with echo golf sharp, echo 5, which would be this one here. Right, this is echo 5. And this is golf 5. So it should start with that. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Play. Yep, that was correct. So that is actually the solution. So now I want to make sure that it actually generates the same solution every time. So I'm going to copy the part 1 first of all. I'm going to copy that into a notepad. And just run it again. Alright, and just play it again. I don't even need to play it, I just need to make sure that this is the same as it was before. The first part is surely the same. Let's see, E5, E4, F sharp 5, F sharp 4. So let's run it again. E5, E4, F sharp, there you go. It generates the same melody each time. So now let's take a look at a different rule seed. So I just changed the rule seed to 3. Once Unity stops unfreezing. And it crashed. Thank you very much, Unity. That was extremely helpful. Thank you. Let's start that again. Let's open Melody Sequencer. Yes, B major uses all the black keys. That is correct. Yep. Let's open the scene. There we go. Okay. Let's run this. And oh, alright, it didn't save the changes to the scene, so Twitch Plays needs to be active, and I'm going to change the rule seed to 3. There you go, apply, save, run, and play. Alright, that sounds good. I think this sounds pretty good. The changing keys mid-sequence is a bit much. Do you have any suggestions on how to address that, Royal Flush? Kind of what I was getting at when I was on about teaching the computer the rules. Yeah, no, I know, but like I said, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. The parts sound very similar. That is true. That is because we've put a lot of constraints on them, right? We've made them adhere to very strict rules, so there isn't much room for variation in there. So maybe we should relax some of those rules. What do you think? Let me hear what you think. I personally think that we should allow, you know, having two of the same notes in a row. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the non-perfection is the randomness we're hearing. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So I'm going to relax the rule that says you can't have 2 in a row. I'm gonna change that to 3 in a row. So if note is greater than 1, and that is equal to that, then remove that. So now we do allow 2 of the same in a row. Lose the modulation element and allow repeats. Okay. So when you say lose the modulation element, you mean have the entire melody in one key. Is that what you're saying? tone it down a bit, but also make sure that when it goes from one bar to another, that the last note of the ending part is not too far away from the start of the next bar. That's a very good point. It doesn't go like C4 to D5. Yes. Well, the reason I didn't want to stick to just one key royal flush is because it means that the entire solution will only ever use the, the 7 notes within the major key and not the full keyboard. Do you see what I mean? Now, granted, the original rules, the seed 1 rules, have the same property because it's all in F major, but still. All right, so let's first do what Goofy said, which is that make sure that when it goes from one bar to another, that the last note of the ending part is not too far away from the start of the next bar. Okay. So maybe there's. I just realized another thing, because one thing that I did was that I chose a bass note for the key, and then I took only the octave above that key. So which means that if it starts on, for example, F, this key here, then it will never play the C below it. It will only play between that F and and the E here, basically. So maybe I should fix that. So now the proper notes here are yeah, that's right. So let's add 12 to each of these. So it's 1 octave more. So we get that and that. Okay, so now we have 2 octaves, and then we take each of those modulo 24. Okay, so now we have all of the keys that belong, all of the notes that belong to a key. Now the major notes, I suppose I can do the same thing here. So add 12 to each of these. That would be 19, and then we do this, %24. So now we have more notes to choose from. Whoops. Let's see, what did you say? No, that's good, Rolf. It's good that you make suggestions, but just keep in mind that this is just a KTANE module and we don't have to make it perfect. Why is there harmony sequence in K and bomb module? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, are you... Oh, it still says harmony sequence. Yep, that needs to change. Melody sequence. Melody sequencer. Wait, if that is wrong, Goofy, then that means that either the module is wrong on the workshop right now, or the GitHub isn't up to date. So maybe you should take a look and make sure that the GitHub is up to date. Note to self. All right. Okay. Octave. What triangles? Oh, oh, I know what you mean. You mean those buttons, right? These little buttons. Yeah. Yes, they are getting some airtime. Well, good. Well done. Well played. Okay, so we've just extended the range. So now we want to make sure that each part starts with a note that is not too far away from the last note of the previous part. So so here we have note greater 0. Then else if, so now we know that note is equal to 0. So if the part IX is greater than 0, so it's not the first part, then we want to remove all notes that are too far away from the last note of the previous part. There you go. All right. Yeah. Very good. Okay, let's try this. So now we're going to randomly generate a melody that doesn't jump too much. Let's play that. I think that sounded pretty good. Yep, royal flush triangles is right. Okay, so I think this sounds pretty good, so I'm going to keep it like this for now. If you guys have any more suggestions, maybe we can do that later. For now, I'm going to transfer this to the manual and generate, the table here in the manual for each rule seed. So let's take a look at the source for this HTML page. So the first thing we do, as always, is we add the JavaScript tag here for the rule seed. We add not a style, we add a script tag, and we define two functions, set default rules and set rules. And it just occurred to me that for the default rules, we don't need the random number generator. So here is the original, right? So the default rules are just going to be that. Let's there you go. These are our strings. We're going to change these in the selection. There we go. And now var melody is that as an array, right? And then we're just going to say for var I equals 0, I less than melody.length, I plus plus. We need to give these TD things something so that we can refer to them. So we're going to change TD to class part. Let's call it part. There you go. So now they all have class part, which means that now here I can go var list equals document.get elements by class name part. And now this is a list of parts. And then for each part I can say list of I dot inner HTML is equal to melody I. Okay. Now for rules, let's see what you guys have to say. You thought that was pretty on point until about 5. And then what happened? Modulation caught you off guard? Ah, okay. See you around. Alright. So I'm going to copy and paste this code, right? And translate it to JavaScript. So let's put that here. In fact, before I do this, there's one last thing that I want to do, because I think it's a good idea to always log the rule seed using rule seed 1. So I'm gonna do that so that I don't forget it. Alright, now decide on the key of the first part. So we want to start a new list, which in JavaScript is just a square bracket. And so next is going to be lowercase. So we start with that. And then for each part, eligible keys is this. .select in JavaScript is called map. So I'm just going to change that. And where is called filter. Here's another select. Change that to map. Okay. ToList, don't need that. Don't need the logging, I don't think. Well, I suppose I could. I don't need this particular one. In fact, I can delete it even here, I think. Alright. So I want to lowercase that. This becomes length. That should be fine. Now generate a new melody at random. So parts equals that. And then here we're going to say parts.push that. And then here we're going to say parts.push that. Okay, dot count becomes length. Dot next becomes lowercase. Oops, let's see what else needs to change. We have this, right? This is an array. This is an array. And then it's remarkable how much of this can stay the same. All right, var, eligible notes, major nodes, notes, semicolon. All right, at this point I want to take, see, JavaScript doesn't have, but wait, I can just use map. Yeah, that's right, I'll do that. I can map this and use less than, no, not map, I meant filter. It's filter. There you go. So that should be that, and then filter where this is less than 7. There you go. If node is greater than 1, and let's make that a triple equals. Let's make that a triple equals. eligible nodes dot remove. Okay, how do you remove an element from an array? Let's see. JavaScript remove element from array. Oh, I remember. Yeah, it doesn't actually have a built-in function for that. I will have to find the index of that. So array index of. Within eligible nodes, I have to find the index of that, and then if that is not equal to -1, then it's in the array. So we want to splice that one element out. And yes, this doesn't. I do not need to assign this because this actually changes the array in place. All right, and then push. That looks good. All right, then here let's console.log. Boink. Solution part ix plus 1, and then here we say this dot map node. Now I'm gonna put node names in there in a second, and then I want to join this with commas, and that should be that. Okay, and now I'm gonna copy this node names array, put that here. Var node names equals that. Can I also, because this triggers me, change all the hashtags to... this is already correct, huh? These are already sharp symbols. All right, good. Okay, so now let's open this, let's run this, and look at the console. It doesn't do anything because we're in rule seed 1, so rule seed 2, type error, okay, it says add, we want push. So reload that. Mathf is not defined, obviously, it's called math. Math.abs, reload that. Math.abs is lowercase in JavaScript, thank you. We have a first part, and then .last is not a function. I believe in JavaScript you can go -1, can you? Yes, that seems to work. Now let's check if that melody generated is the same as the one here. Now the one that we have here is rule seed 3, so I'm going to switch to rule seed 3, refresh the page, and let's see what we get. A sharp, G sharp, A sharp. Ooh, it is not the same. That means I made a mistake. However, the first note is apparently, yeah, it's correct for a while, but then that's really annoying. So I made a mistake. Let's find out where the mistake is. Okay, so what happened here is that I filtered the list, but then I discard the result. I do need to assign this here and here, and I'm gonna bet that it is correct now. So let's just refresh that, and of course it's not. It's probably because this -1 doesn't work the way I expected. So I'm just gonna put 7 there because I know that they are of length 8, and I've already hard-coded the 7 here and the 8 here and here. So I'm just gonna put the number 7 in there, and there you go, that works. So I was wrong about the -1. I thought that JavaScript allows you to put -1 to access the last element, but it doesn't. So here we go. A sharp, G sharp, A sharp, G sharp, A sharp, F, G, D sharp. That is correct. Let's look at the last one. F sharp, C sharp, C sharp, B, C sharp, B4, flat 4. Yep. All right. They all match up. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves a manual. Now, of course, we still need to put that result into here. So let's take the list here, and then here we say that should be equal to that. There you go. Run. I is not defined because I should be part index. Thank you. Run that. There we go. Here we go. So now I can do part 4, 5, 6, 7, and we get different melodies. Okay, now 7 looks like one with very few flat sharps. So let's take a look at rule seed 7, see how that sounds. That's probably going to be interesting. Try that. All right, and let's do the play thing. Yeah, I think that's okay. The generator is not based on the PC clock, it is based entirely only on the seed, which in this case is the number 7, right? That's all it uses to generate the random numbers. Okay. All right. So I'm going to submit a pull request for this, because this. Well, actually, before I do that, I should probably actually play the module and make sure that it works. And by the way, I could also add Twitch Play support while I'm at it. But for now, let's just play the module without Twitch Plays and actually solve it. Let's see. Let's run that without Twitch Plays. And let's actually listen to this. So we have rule seed number 7. Where's the rule seed? Do we have the rules? Yep, they're using rule seed 7. Very good. Okay, so play the first part. Starts with GD and ends with E. Starts with GD and ends with E. So it's that one. That's part 7. Click. Doing, 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 doing. Click. Well done. Okay, let's go to part 2. CA ends with D. Starts with CA. That's the only one, so that's part 3. So we move that to 3, and then we listen to this one. Starts with AE and ends with C. That would be part 8. So let's move that to here. Okay, so 2 would now be empty. And 1 is also empty. So why don't I just record number 1 now? Number 1 should be Golf Bravo, Golf Alpha, Echo Bravo, Charlie Foxtrot. Well done. And then part 2, which is also missing, this one, Golf Echo Delta. So that's Golf Echo Delta, Golf Bravo Foxtrot Charlie. That was Foxtrot, I should have pressed Golf. Alright, I got a strike. So let's record that again from the start. Golf Echo. Why was that wrong? Did I press Echo? I thought I pressed Echo. It doesn't tell you what you actually pressed. Maybe the logging should say what you actually pressed. Right. Key press, there we go. If record active, record input, key pressed. Yes. Let's actually not log the correct ones, but here when you get a strike, right? So here I'm gonna say for part that you entered, but I expected that. All right. So oops, module ID. So for part, what's the part is current part plus 1. You entered. Let's see. Keys pressed. Oh, I see. This is why I got the second strike, is because it doesn't reset the keys. So can we stop? SPIC, I can make sure that we can do that. Goofy, I noticed that when you get a strike, it doesn't reset the keys pressed variable, which means that you have to continue the recording where you left it off, which is problematic if you switch to a different key, a different part. All right, so I think we're going to change that. So we're going to set this to 0. I just found a major mistake. If you don't mind, could you implement a check to hinder people from recording a part that is given? For example, one of the 4 given parts is part 8, but before changing it, you can actually record part 8 so that you then basically have 2 part 8s. Yeah, you already fixed that one, but it wasn't in your Git repository. Let's take a look at... Let's open that again. Yes, it does seem that you forgot to push it. Don't worry about it, I'll just make the changes. Okay, so gitkraken is apparently broken because it doesn't want to. Oh, that took a while, but there we go. So yeah, it does seem that you forgot to push it. Can we do a fetch? Fetch all. Yeah, you did forget to push it. The one with double parts is still present. That would be a problem. Yeah. I'll address that later if you remind me of it. In fact, I might do that outside of the stream because right now I'm doing the rule seed. Okay. So I want to log here. So what you entered was, so we want the current part, and we want only as many as you pressed plus 1, right? And then select node names node string dot join that dot to array. Whew. Okay, so this is what you pressed, right? And then this is what I expected. Actually, this is what I expected, but what I pressed is this, and then concatenate the one that we pressed, which is key press. There you go. That should do it. Let's see. All right, so now if I go to part number 5, which should start with a goal 5. So if I just press something wrong, let's see. You entered C4, but I expected goal 5. There you go. Yep, all right. So now if I record again and I press G5 this time, that was G4. I get it. That actually press G5. There you go. You entered G5, G5, but I expected G5, Bravo 5. Very good. Okay, so now let's play the module properly. The first one, GD and BB. This one. That's part 4. So let's move that to slot 4. And here we have AE, ends in C. That would be this one, so that's part 8. Let's move that to 8. So now 1 is empty, so let's record number 1. Actually, no, because 1 might still be somewhere else. Is that number 2? Golf Echo Delta? Yes. Ending in Foxtrot. Yep, that is part 2. Then we have GB, ends in D. Nope. GB, and that's the one. That's part 5. So let's move that to 5. Okay. GDD ends in B. GDD ends in B. There you go. That's part 4. So that one's correct. All right. Yep, that's this one. All right. So now let's fill in this one. Record. We want GB, GA. So GB, GA, and then EB, EB, CF. Well done. Alright, so we've got 1 and 2 done. 3 we need. So record 3. Charlie, Alpha, Echo Alpha, then Charlie, Bravo, Echo, and Delta. Well done. We have the 4. We have the 5. 6. We still need to play number 6. So we start on Delta 4, which is this one. Foxtrot Sharp and then Golf. Then Charlie 5, Bravo 4. And then Alpha 4, Golf 4. Hey, nice progression there. And then a Bravo. Well done. Number 7 is still not there, so let's put that in. Golf Delta, Golf Echo. That would be... Wait, is it? It's 4. Whoa, I almost pressed the wrong one. So, Golf Delta, Golf Echo. Golf Delta Charlie Echo. Golf Delta Charlie Echo. Well done. And now it plays the whole thing. solved. And that's it done, ladies and gentlemen. I can submit a pull request for this. But before I do that, I'm going to add Twitch Play support as well. Alright, so let's quickly do that. We already have our little method here, process Twitch command. But of course we're not going to have this play command. I'm going to remove this now. This used to be called pass, so I'm going to change that back. Remove this, put it back to what it was. And this is, where was this called? It's called here. There you go, remove that. Okay, now. Okay, so we want several commands. We want to be able to select a part. We want to be able to move a part to a different place. We want to be able to press the green button, which is play, the red button, which is record, and we want to be able to play melodies, so as any sequence of notes, basically. All right. You have some fields here that are not actually being used. I'm just going to remove those. Okay. So first, yeah, okay, I know that. Okay, so first let's do the play and the record button, because those are literally just one button press. So actually, wait, maybe it would be nice if you could queue all of the button presses in one command. So you could say, like, for example, record and then the whole sequence. But you don't really need to press now. Actually, I think it's easier to do it as separate commands, even if the Twitch player will have to submit record and the notes as a separate command. I think that's fine. So let's do the play button first. Let's use a regular expression for that. If the command matches the following regular expression, any white space plus play or listen, let's call it either of those, then any white space and then end, ignore case, culture invariant. If that is the case, then we yield, no. Wait, actually, I don't think we need an IEnumerator for this, do we? We never need we have no time sensitive things. We don't need to hold anything for an amount of time. So I'm just going to do this, use the simple API. So now we can just return a simple array with the play button, which has a different name apparently. Keys, listen is what it's called. Okay. All right, now if the same, so record or submit, I guess, or input or enter, whatever, then it's record. Yes, that is the name of the button. All right. Then let's say move or yellow. Actually, yeah, let's also do that. So you can say red for this one and green for this one. There you go. So you can either say move or yellow to I think I want to have one command where you move from the current slot to a specific other slot. But then again, we also need another command that allows you to switch to another slot. So actually, I think I'm gonna make them separate commands. So this will literally just press the yellow key, which is the move. It's called move. There you go. Okay, so now we need something slightly more complicated. So I'm gonna declare a match object here. So if we have a match, and then we assign that to M. So now we need to slot or select, right? And then we have some white space here, and then we have any number of digits. So if that is the case, dot success, right? Var slot number is M groups 2 dot value except int dot parse. All right. If slot number is less than 1 or slot number is greater than 8, then that's invalid, so we return null. And now, so let's see what the current slot number. Let's see if you buttons. All right, what is the button called? Cycle buttons is what they're called. Let's see if we go here. This is what happens. Okay. Oh, of course, it's the variable current part. I'm so dumb. Okay. So what we actually want to do is we want to return a repeat of the up button, I guess, which is the cycle button 0. And we want to take the slot number that we need to go to minus the slot number that we're currently at, which is current part, except that the slot number, of course, we need to minus 1 because it's 1 to 8, but we need to change it to 0 to 7, right? And then we need to get that into the range up to 8, so we're going to plus 8 and modulo 8, right? And then we change that to an array. There you go. Right, cycle buttons. You don't know which, I see. That's a very good point, thank you. Cycle buttons. You're right. Up is number 1. So let's just do that. Alright? Alright, so that's that. Now we want to be able to play any notes. Okay, so if m is equal to play or press followed by a space followed by any sequence of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, hashtag or sharp. I'm gonna have just the sharps, okay? I'm just not gonna bother with the flats, if that's okay with you guys. So now sequence is mgroups2.value. Oh yeah, also you need to be able to put spaces or commas or semicolons or something. And then we're gonna split this at the commas or semicolons or spaces, and we are going to remove all the empty entries. There you go. All right, so now we have a sequence of keys. Var keys. We will turn that into a list of KM selectables, and then for each thing in the sequence, sequence.length, obviously. The index is the index of within the note names array. We want the index of sequence I, and I was kind of hoping that I could use a string comparison here, but I guess I can't. So note names, these are all in uppercase, so I'm just gonna say to upper invariant. There you go. If that is an invalid name for a note, for example echo sharp, then this is invalid. Else keys.add ix. Well, actually, it's keys, isn't it? Keys ix. There you go. And then at the end of that, we return keys dot to array. Else it's an invalid command. We return false, null. Okay. Now let's see if I can solve the module within Twitch Plays. For that, I should probably enable Twitch Plays, which I haven't. So let's go to the test harness, enable the Twitch Plays, there it is, and run this. Okay, we are still on rule seed. What was the rule seed? I think it's 3. Now, fortunately, I can probably see that here. No, I can't actually. Oh, no, that's the serial number. Oh well. It's here in the log. Rule seed. It's at the very top. Rule seed 7. Okay, make sure that we're on 7. Here we go. Okay. Play. GBG ends in D. GBG ends in D. So that's 5. So we're gonna say yellow 5. Bingo. And yellow again. Well done. Okay, and then we go back to 1 and play that. Oh no, that one should be empty now, so we go to slot 2 and play that. Okay, so that one starts with A and ends with C. Fortunately, there's only one, so that's 8. So I'm gonna press yellow and then slot 8 and then yellow. Bingo. Then we go to slot 3 and play that. GDG ends in E. G was probably that. No. No. GDG ends in E. That's the one. Okay. So press yellow, go to slot 7 and press yellow again. And finally, slot 4. G and ends in F sharp. So that's this one. That should be part 2. Okay, so we press yellow, go to slot 2 and press yellow again. Okay, now go to slot 1 and play that. Bingo. So that we want to record. And I can literally just copy this now. But I need play in front. Ooh, we have a problem. Aha, it doesn't accept that. I want to know why. Press. Right, let's take a look at the code. It should accept press. And okay. Let's see if I can press one note. Oh, the 4 and the 5. I'm such an idiot. See, this will only accept like C sharp, but not C sharp 4 or 5. So I'm gonna have to put that here. And then var octave is equal to, because first of all, if if this is less than 2 characters, then it's definitely invalid. Now the octave is the last character minus 4. So it's, yeah, I think that's good. So it's either octave 0 or 1. And then the index is arrayed as note name sequence of bound dot remove sequence I dot length minus 1. All right, so we remove the last character, which is the octave. Right, we also need the thing to end with 4 or 5 or sequence I dot length minus 1 not equal to 4 and not equal to 5. Whew, that was a bit of a mouthful. Okay, and then we do this plus 12 times octave. Whew, here we go. Hopefully that will work. Actually, I found it annoying to have to go yellow and then slot 1 and then yellow again. So I'm actually going to create another command here that lets me do move or move to, right? And then a number. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have just move to and then a number just to make it clear. So the slot number is going to be that. The slot number needs to be in here. And then we return the yellow button, which is move. And then we concatenate all of that onto it. And then we concatenate another move button onto it. There you go. That should do it. Hi. Technically, you're right. You won't need it. But let me think of a case where you might actually still need it. What actually happens if you press the yellow key on an invalid slot? Like if the slot is empty and you press yellow. Let me test that. Right, so if I go to slot 5 and press yellow, It does let me select it, and then I go here, and then I get a strike. Okay. Well, in that case, then it'll be safe. In that case, you're right. I don't need this. Okay, and then if that is the case, then I can do this. All right. Okay. Yeah. See, in order to solve the module, you never really need to play the keys for any reason other than to record it. So I might as well just change this to record. You know. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So let's not have this, and then here we'll just keys.add record. Well, now recently I'm learning how to use Unity, so maybe I can kind of make the model of a module. Hopefully, that'd be great. Good luck with that. Okay. Now then. Alright, we have our module. So 1, play. Starts with G and ends with B. That would be this one. Yep, that's the only one, so that's part 4. So now I can say move to 4. I mean 1, move to 4. Well done. Alright. And then slot 2. Actually, I should probably go back to slot 1 because I just replaced it with something else. GDG ends in E. That's this one, part 7. So move to 7. Well done. So slot 1 should now be empty. Very good. Play slot 2. G and ends in F. G and ends in F. It's this one, isn't it? Yep, no others end in F, so that's part 1. So move to 1. So this means that slot 2 should now be empty. Yep. Slot 3. G to F sharp. Oh, that is slot 2. Interesting. So move to 2. So now slot 3 should have should be empty. That's right. Slot 4. G to B. That's this one. Yep. That's part 4. That's already correct. All right. Slot 5. Okay. So I believe this one was empty. No. This one is also not empty. Okay, slot 3. Let's record this one. And of course it doesn't work. Huh. Okay, so now we need some logging here, guys. Let's see. Okay. Let's log this sequence I. Invalid octave and invalid key. Right. All right. Let's see if that works. I mean, let's see what that tells us. So now I'm just gonna, do this, record that, and 5 invalid octave. Let's see. Why would it say that? So it's telling me that the sequence of group value is split. This is the string that I gave it. Why would it find just the number 5, even though it says C5? That is really weird. 5 invalid octave. Okay. If any of you have any ideas, I'm happy to hear them. So group 2 dot value. Oh, it's because the plus is in the wrong place. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. Okay. So now, let's just do this. C5 invalid key. Oh, but note names. Oh, note names actually contains the whole. Okay, I'm dumb. In that case, we don't need any of this. We don't need this, and we don't need. Wow. If any, why did no one tell me this? Yeah, let's keep this just in case it still breaks. But then we do this. Let's try that. Here we go. Not play, I meant record. An exception. Argument out of range. 399. Interesting. Oh. Aha. This should be keys to press, and this should be keys. This should be this keys array up here, right? That makes sense. All right. And here we go again. 1, record that. Enter. Bang. Now it works. See, it played C5, and that was wrong, so it gave up. Okay. There you go. This is the one. Okay, so that should be part 2. So move to 2. Slot 1. Actually, why don't we go to slot 5? Right, and then I should be able to record this. There you go. Well done. Okay. That seems to work. All right. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna fix the other bug now, which is that if one of the parts is, yeah, very fast playing. If one of the parts is given but in the wrong slot, it shouldn't let you record in this slot, right? So when you press the record button, which happens here, record. Oh, so you can actually press the record button again to just cancel the recording. Okay, but still though, let's see. So first of all, when we assign to module parts for the first time here, right? So we have part numbers and we take a random part number. Right, so module parts, I'm gonna also have a list of integers given parts. Alright, and then here I'm gonna say given parts dot add part number index. There you go. Yeah, that should work. Can I fix this? Because you know, shuffled part 1, 2. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say module parts I, select each node, node names node, join, string.join, comma, that dot to array, right? Remove unnecessary parentheses, and then all of this can go. Yeah, and whatever, that can also go. Wait, where is this even declared? Oh, you don't need that at all. All right, so far so good. Now we have a list of given parts, and now if you try to record a part that was actually given, it should give you a strike, right? So if given part that contains a current part, then let's take a debug log format here. There you go. So you try to record part current part plus 1. Module.handle strike module handle strike. This is how you do it. All right. I suppose I can do that. It's not a big deal. Come on. There you go. Handle strike return. Okay, now let's solve the module. Here we go. 1, listen. GB ends in D. You know, actually, I've heard this melody several times now. I'm gonna change the rule seed just so that we get a different melody. How about that? Let's do that. And suddenly everything's different. Woohoo! Rule seed number 8. Here we go. Oops. Didn't need to stop that. Let's listen. GE ends in D. GE ends in D. So that's part 6. Move to 6. E something ends in C. E something ends in C. That's part 8. So move 8. There you go. And then we go to slot 3 and play that. I missed that, but it ended with 2 Charlies, so it's that, part 2. So, how about this? I'm gonna go to slot 2 and try to record it. Okay, and this should give me a strike for trying to record a part that is already given somewhere else. Ready for this? You try to record part number 2, but that part is already given. Strike! Bingo. We have it. So, which slot was that in? I don't remember. Well, anyway, slot 3. I think it was slot 3, wasn't it? Starts with C and ends with 2 C's. Yep, that is part 2. So, move to slot 2. Then go to 4. Ooh, FA, FA, FA. That must be this one, part 5. So move to 5. Okay. Now, which ones of them are still... Okay. So I should be able to record part 1 and it should be this. Now what's wrong? A#4 invalid key. Okay. Yeah, it's because the yeah, got it. Oh, still not working? This time it didn't say it. Oh. Record A#4. Well done. Slot 2. Yep, that one's already given. Slot 3. Let's see. That one's not given, so I can record slot 3. And that's this one. And I need to change the sharp. I'll fix that afterwards, that the sharp is different. Yay. Slot 4. Play. Right, we can record that one. Slot 4 would be this. There are no sharps in that. Bingo. Slot 5. I mean 1, slot 5. Play. Okay. Slot 6. Slot 7. That's the one. So let's record this, and we need to change the sharp. Alright, and it's done. Okay, I'm gonna cancel that here. As nice as the melody is, I want to fix that bug. So here, I'm just going to replace this with this, and that should work. Timmy could you add the Twitch function to play the keys, so that the Twitch players can play their own melody as long as it's from? Would be a nice touch. Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, so I guess I can play and press, right? And then here I'll say if mgroups1 value equals not equals to press and not equal to play, then that. All right. Okay, so now I can go play. Let's see, echo, delta sharp, echo, delta sharp, echo, and these should be 5s. That should be B4, D5, C5, A4. Hey. All right, is it possible to slow the input down? Right. It would be possible if we use the enumerator. I do agree that it is too fast. So no, of course it's possible. It's just less convenient. But you're right. I agree. It is too fast. So I'll do that. So we're gonna have to change this to an enumerator, and then here we're gonna have to yield return null, null, and yield return that. Okay, and then here we yield break, yield return null, and yield that. And here yield break, and here yield break, and then that. Right, so here this one we want slower, so we're gonna say yield return null, and then for each var key and key is to press, yield return the key, and then yield return new wait for seconds. Did you say 0.23 seconds? Is that what you said? Okay, that is what you said. And then this can go. Let's try that. Is that good speed? Or should it be faster? Because I think that it's actually 0.33 now, because this itself adds a tenth of a second, I think. So maybe if I change this to, like, let's do 0.15 and see how that goes. Let's see, play. Change the octave there. All right. Should be the same as the listen one. All right. Listen. Listen. There you go. Start coroutine. Play. 0.23. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'll just make it 0.13 then, because I strongly suspect that the yield return of the array adds a tenth of a second. So it sounds slower. So I'm actually gonna check the test harness. Hello. I would like to see the test harness, please. Thank you. Wait 4 seconds. Let's see. Oh, it's probably not in here. It's probably in here, maybe. Aha, it's 0.05. No, it's not. I'm nonsense. That's nonsense. God damn it, this is so hard to read. If current object is reached. Oh, I see. 0.1. It is actually a tenth of a second. There you go. This is what I was looking for. All right. In that case, then that this should do it. So I'm gonna keep this and hope that in the game itself it is, because Unity is a little laggy and stuff. So in fact, let me just quickly check if the memory usage is still reasonable. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I think I'm happy with this. So you can now play random notes, and you can solve the module. So record A5 map. You get a strike because you tried to record part number 1, but that's already given. Okay. Let's also add a help message. So private static. No, is it static? I don't know. Let's go to, I don't know, Simon Sings or something. That has this thing here. Let's copy that. And okay, so play. Oh, I see. You could now actually combine slot and play. So you can just say play and then a number of a slot. I think I'll do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so you can now do you even need, yeah, you do need to be able to select one to record it, so I'll leave that, but play, listen to, yeah, that should work, because if you do play and then a number, then this will trigger, but if you say play and then a sequence of notes, then that will happen. Okay, so now we do this, and then we concatenate the play button, which is listen. There you go. That should work. Which means we don't need this. All right. So whatever. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. Right, we have slot, we have play, we have move to, we have record, and just play. Yeah. Okay, we don't need this anymore because now we've figured out what the problem was. Yeah, I think that should be good. I'm not quite sure why I just pressed compile. I don't really need to compile it. I mean, I could try it in the game, but I'm not gonna try it with Twitch plays. And I'm fairly confident that the module itself works, because there's nothing special in it that needs to be tested in the game. So I think I'll just submit a pull request. All right. Let's see. Play 1. Okay, that was the part 5. So let's move to 5. All right. Very good. No, I can't remember how to do this. Help. And help. There you go. That happens. Yay. Okay. Okay. I'm happy with this.
By the way, Jimmy is doing a great job in helping me with my mods. He also helped me on the Simon Sounds one. He's a great guy. Follow him. Subscribe to him.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now I can push this finally. All right, push, master, push, and then on Git, KTANE melody sequencer. Let's pull request. Pull request. Pull request. You're welcome. Okay, so thank you all for watching. This was good fun. I'm gonna end the stream here. My mouth is very dry. I'm gonna have to take a break. I'm happy to do another live stream in which I do some more development. I would like to add more rule-C support to more modules. I did ask around for suggestions of what you would like to see in a live stream. I haven't received any yet. So if you want to see anything specific, please go ahead and message me, or send me send me something on Discord. And I'll see what I can do. All right. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.